Something I run into all the time when I'm working on mixes for other artists is when they've warped audio in their session. So whether it's vocals or effects or anything like that, a lot of the time the warping is just left on this default beats mode, which of course can be fine in some cases, but I find that there are usually better or worse options in these warping modes depending on what you're warping. So whether it's vocals or drums or effects or things like that, and also what you're trying to accomplish, like how clean or not clean do you want the stretch to be? So for example, if we have this vocal here,
When you feel my love.
And we need to stretch it, right? This vocal's at 136. Let's say our project's at 128. I'm going to go down and warp it here, type in the original sample tempo, and that's going to stretch it to our project tempo. And I'm going to leave it on the default beats just so we can hear what it sounds like.
When you feel my love.
Right, so now the vocal is like skipping a little bit or stuttering. It kind of has like a grainy texture. So if you're doing that for creative purposes, like just ignore what I'm saying. But if you're trying to warp this audio and you wanted it to be a little bit cleaner, then in my experience, Complex or Complex Pro is usually going to get the job done best.
When you feel my love. When you feel my love.
Right, both of those sound great. If maybe this vocal was a little bit closer in tempo to our project, we probably wouldn't even notice it much. But imagine this across a whole project where, you know, all the effects and risers and stuff that you're using, maybe some like ambience loops or whatever, are all warped just on default beats mode. You're going to get a lot of this weird kind of skipping and stuttery textures all throughout the track, right? Which we don't necessarily want. So if you do have to stretch something and you have to warp it, try out a couple of different warping modes. I find beats is great for a lot of drums, tones, texture, repitch. Those are great for like creative effects. And then Complex and Complex Pro usually do a great job of stretching the audio in a really clean way.